Once upon a time, there was a boy named Tom. Tom had a childhood friend named Danny. At school, Tom secretly had a crush on a girl named Lucy. They often met after school to go over their homework. One day, while they were chatting, a troublemaker named Eugene interrupted them. At home, Tom lived with his grandmother, Nan. One night, Tom planned to visit Lucy at her house. Surprisingly, her door was unlocked. He immediately went inside to check on Lucy. Evidently, 4 criminals had just raped her, and one of them had filmed the scene. After witnessing the incident, Tom swiftly flees and attempts to call the police. As soon as his call connects, he's shot in the head. After that dreadful night, Tom wakes up in the hospital following a 10-day coma, finding his grandmother by his side. The doctor reveals that fragments from the cell phone entered his brain along with the bullet, making complete removal too risky. Tom is advised to return if anything unusual occurs. Back at home, Tom begins to experience something peculiar. He can now hear conversations from electronic devices with clarity and see digital data traffic, all thanks to the cell phone fragments fused with his brain. It's as if he has access to data servers worldwide. He can retrieve digital data without using any device. It's all in his brain. Tom decides to visit Lucy to apologize for not being able to protect her that night. Despite his regrets, Lucy understands and hopes for things to return to normal. On his way home, Tom becomes overwhelmed by unfamiliar sights and sounds from electronic devices and eventually passes out. The following day, Tom awakens from his daze, ready to return to school after his recovery from surgery. He meets up with Danny and shares his suspicion about Eugene's involvement in the incident at Lucy's house. Tom points out that Eugene's phone was connected to Lucy's Wi-Fi during the time of the incident. However, Danny remains skeptical. During class, Tom deliberately monitors data transmissions from his friends' cell phones, focusing on Eugene's. He's stunned to discover a video of Lucy's assault, strengthening his suspicions against Eugene. Using his newfound abilities, Tom causes a small explosion on Eugene's phone, shocking him and amusing others. Later that night, Tom attends a party to spy on Eugene and his crew. He learns that Eugene leads a gang of 4. Approaching Eugene directly, Tom is thankfully stopped by Danny before any altercation ensues. Despite Tom's insistence, Danny still denies Eugene's guilt. To lift Lucy's spirits, Tom pays her another visit. From upstairs, they observe Eugene and his crew laughing, oblivious to their wrongdoing. Lucy's expression turns somber, indicating she knows Eugene was the perpetrator. Mysterious messages begin to arrive on Eugene's phone, signaling the start of Tom's retaliation. From his bed, Tom masters the art of hacking systems using his unique abilities. He stealthily terrorizes Eugene and his men after mastering the technique last night. Their cell phones are hacked by him, so he could see all the activities they are doing. At the same night, Tom starts his hacking action. From turning off the lights in their house until he accidentally records one of Eugene's friend, named Cass, masturbating. During a presentation at his school, Tom hacks the laptop used by his teacher. He presents the video about Cass masturbating in his room, making all students laugh. And Cass, who also watches the video, feels deeply embarrassed by it. After school, Tom shares the latest story with Lucy, who has been absent from school for a while. She finds the tale highly entertaining, and Tom secretly sends her a message using the alias iBoy to avoid detection by others, including Lucy. As they walk back from the riverbank, Eugene and his crew unexpectedly confront them. Eugene believes Tom and Lucy have been behind the recent disturbances. When Eugene moves to attack Tom, he swiftly sends an anonymous message to them, redirecting their attention. Confused, they search for the sender, giving Tom and Lucy a chance to escape. Unable to find the sender, they decide to steal a car parked by the roadside. However, as they try to enter, the car locks automatically from the inside, controlled by Tom, who has hacked into the car's system remotely. Tom then threatens Eugene and his crew over the car's radio, questioning why they attacked Lucy's family while filling the car with smoke and igniting a small fire to intensify the fear. Cass, terrified, reveals they were ordered by someone named Cuts. With the information he needs, Tom releases them, but moments later, the car explodes. Armed with knowledge about Cuts, Tom sets out for revenge at Cuts' house. To their surprise, Danny is also present in the residence. Tom hacks into the television that Cuts and his friends are watching, displaying a video of Cuts' car being urinated on. Shocked, Cuts rushes outside with his friend to inspect his car, allowing Tom to sneak into Cuts' house. Inside, Tom destroys all electronic devices using his superpower. By chance, he discovers Cuts' stash of drugs and takes them. With the drugs in hand, Tom devises a clever plan. He divides the drugs into small packages and places them where Eugene and his crew reside. Then, he hacks into the police station to report Eugene and his crew's involvement in the drug trade, providing evidence he had planted earlier. The following day, the police arrest Eugene and his crew, along with the evidence. Meanwhile, Tom also hacks into Cuts' bank account, depleting his funds. The next night, Tom eavesdrops on Cuts' phone call with his boss, Elman. Elman warns Cuts to identify the person disrupting their operations. From a rooftop, Tom attempts to track Elman's location, but finds himself unable to uncover any information, as if Elman is shielded. Simultaneously, Cuts orders his remaining men to locate E-Boy by confiscating all electronic devices in the area. However, they remain unaware that Tom doesn't rely on conventional hacking tools. The following day, after finishing his exam, Tom intercepts a signal of a drug deal between Cuts and Elman. He plans to disrupt the transaction that night by burning all the drugs. Concerned about Tom's changed behavior, his grandmother seeks help from Danny to look after him. Danny agrees to help while Tom continues to tail Cuts' car. Unfortunately, Tom loses track of Cuts midway as Cuts throws his phone into a random trash can. With a brilliant idea, Tom hacks into a satellite to track Cuts' vehicle and eventually locates it. Upon reaching their base, Tom notices numerous guards and decides to learn martial arts on the spot. Using his newfound skills, he incapacitates one of the guards and sets fire to the drugs nearby. However, as he tries to leave, Cuts and his men appear and brutally attack Tom, leaving him on the brink of death. In a desperate attempt, Tom uses his superpower to emit high-frequency sounds, disorienting everyone and allowing him to escape safely. Tom regains consciousness by the riverbank. Meanwhile, Lucy waits for him at school, as they had promised to take the exam together the previous day. However, Tom arrives too late, and the exam is already over. Lucy is disappointed in him. Outside the school, they are shocked to discover Cass's lifeless body hanging above. Danny meets with Tom to check on him. Tom asks Danny about Cass's killer, and Danny suggests that it might be E-Boy's doing. From then on, Tom starts to feel the weight of the problems caused by him and his superpower. He decides to return to the doctor who operated on his head, hoping to have the remaining cell phone fragments removed. However, the doctor refuses, explaining that the fragments are deeply embedded and removing them would be fatal for Tom. Feeling regretful and guilty, Tom returns home. Upon entering the house, he finds Elman waiting inside with his men, pointing a gun at Tom's head. Tom's grandmother is also held hostage. Elman reveals that he knows Tom is E-Boy and is aware of his hacking abilities without electronic devices. Shockingly, Danny had been feeding Elman information about Tom all along, in exchange for money. Elman commands Tom to hack into the bank system to transfer money into his account. Initially hesitant, Tom is forced to comply when Elman threatens Lucy's life, revealing that he has her captive at a warehouse. Reluctantly, Tom begins transferring the money. However, unbeknownst to anyone, Tom also hacks into Eugene's cell phone to call the police. Soon after, the police arrive at the warehouse to conduct a search. Despite Eugene and his men managing to escape, Lucy finds a gun on the floor and points it at them, allowing her to escape with Eugene's weapon. As Lucy tries to leave, she encounters Elman carrying Tom. She is forced back into captivity, and Elman orders Tom to resume transferring money into his bank account. In a desperate attempt to save themselves, Tom hacks into their cell phones until they explode. Tom manages to escape, but Elman strikes him from behind with an iron pipe, intending to kill him in his rage. At the critical moment, Lucy appears with a gun and shoots Elman in the hand. Despite his injury, Elman retaliates and attacks Lucy. Witnessing the struggle, Tom becomes enraged and unleashes the full extent of his power by generating shockwaves, ultimately killing Elman. Following that night, Tom falls back into a coma, but awakens a few days later in the hospital, accompanied by his grandmother. With Elman gone, the area experiences a newfound peace, free from crime. Danny, who betrayed Tom, seeks to apologize by offering him the money he received from Elman. However, Tom refuses, stating that some things cannot be bought with money. It is revealed that Danny was the one who recorded the video that night. For sure, their friendship will never be quite the same as before. Meanwhile, Tom and Lucy embark on their first date. Amidst the excitement, they find moments of tranquility, and Lucy now understands that E-Boy is actually Tom.